Good morning, Tony Dattino, founder of the USA Memory Championship, and we have our 24th event coming up this coming Saturday, September the 23rd at Full Sail University. Our folks from Lumos Lab will be there, as well as a presentation from Robert Ajamian from MIT Neuroscience, the McGovern Brain Institute. We have Michael Dattino doing a presentation that's been received very, very popular. We call it the Roman Room Loci method of how our memories work. And of course, we have the mental athletes that are going to be competing for who has got the best memory in the United States. So we've had our final work going on with getting prepped with what we call the Tea Party event, where they've got 5 people that have been pre-recorded to give information about themselves, their name and their phone number, and maybe their favorite foods or hobbies. And we play a video of them out there, and the mental athletes have to record and remember as much of that information as they can. And they get a mind map to help them to do that. So we give them a little bit of help. We're not looking to do the impossible when we put 5 people in front of them and have them go through that. But that came out of an event a good number of years ago when we were when we were doing an event for HDNet television. And the Tea Party became a real popular event because the audience could play it. And what we did is we brought people onto stage, and this is when we were doing it at Con Edison live, and we had an audience of about 400 people. We'd get 350 to 400 people every day. We'd be in the Time Out magazine, New York, and boy, we'd pack their auditorium to the point where they had to restrict who could come in until some people left, so they reached capacity. And we'd do this event, and it was the Tea Party, and we'd have 5 people come out on stage, one at a time, to give their information. And each person would have to come out and give it, and we'd give them a piece of paper. They could read the script so that they would follow it. And then they would go off stage, and we'd come back out one at a time, and the mental athletes had to give their name or their phone number. And one year we got through all 5 mental athletes, which is like, oh my goodness, we have a memory event where the finalists were all perfect in what they were able to recall. So then we went from 5 people to 6 people. But I always remember this one year, and we were doing this on television. We got a Discovery TV program doing this session. And one of our guests came back out, and the mental athlete is being given their hobbies or their favorite foods. It was spaghetti. That was their favorite food. And I'll always remember this because I'm on stage, and we have an answer that it was spaghetti and meatballs was what was on the script for their favorite foods. And when the mental athlete gave, and your favorite foods were spaghetti and meatballs, the actor or the person that was our guest turns around and said, no, I don't like spaghetti and meatballs. I don't eat spaghetti and meatballs. It's one of my least favorite foods. And the mental athlete is looking at me like it's spaghetti and meatballs, right? And I'm looking at the script, and it's spaghetti and meatballs. And then the mystery guest or the Tea Party guest is arguing with me over, but I don't eat spaghetti and meatballs. It's one of my least favorite foods. And I said, excuse me, but for today, it's spaghetti and meatballs. We're okay. Can we move on? But I always remember that because this person, and that was a year where we actually had somebody bring us actors as opposed to people we would just ask to come and be a mystery guest. And that was the last time we ever decided to use actors. We said, you know what, this actor did not do a good job at being an actor. And it was a funny time, but I mean, the audience cracked up after it, and it was like, whoa. So what I've learned through the 24 years of doing the Memory Championship, and that will be my 24th year, is something will always happen that will go amiss. As long as we've done this and we think it's going to run perfectly, there's always something that goes on. So one year, the ABC TV cameras were there, and they were going to do a show for one of their newsreel shows, and news shows, and I'm ready to start, and the cameras are like, well, wait a minute, we're not ready. We need to get another camera here. And so it's like, okay, now what do I do? I'm standing here. We got hundreds of people in the audience ready to start to listen to the competition. And so I just decided to just ad lib and say, hey, to the mental athletes, can I get a couple of you to at least share what made you want to compete in the USA Memory Championship? And the audience just loved it. They just absolutely were fascinated by, here are these people that many thought were nerds or kind of weirdos, or like they just sit and study all day long. And they started to find out that these were very average, normal human beings that through one life experience, maybe they were grandparents or parents that had dementia or Alzheimer's, maybe they were trying to learn techniques that they thought could help them in their academic standings or in their schoolwork, or some in their professional jobs, or looking to get promotions within their corporate positions. And so the audience discovered that these were very normal people. And so I've made that kind of a normal part of the events, because I saw how well that went, and that we humanized the people that we call mental athletes to the point that it's any human being that has a need to worry about or have anxiety over their memories and losing it, or wanting to improve it, or not thinking they were intelligent or smart enough. We saw in that just that accident of ABC not being ready to film, an incredible interest of human beings sharing their story about why they wanted to put their brain on display in front of hundreds of people, which I've always said I could get somebody to get up here and take their clothes off easier than I could get them to go up and put their brain on display. And so memory is one of those things that so many people worry about and build anxiety, and don't have either the confidence or the belief that they actually could improve it. And the sad part to me, and one of the issues we've had with pharmaceuticals is, we see more and more pharmaceuticals. Well, there's a pill, and you know what I've learned from working in the medical world for years is that so many people want the pill. And I know I've talked to a number of cardiologists that say so many people want me to just give them the easy pill, when in actuality there are lifestyle changes that they can make in their food and their exercise and their daily habits that could make such a difference in their heart health. And what we've learned is the heart health and the brain health are connected. A lot of things that impact your heart also impact your mental fitness. And if we can only get to realize that there are easy exercises you can do without ingesting pills. And as I talked with Tony Buzan one day about that, he said, I don't know that I'd be wanting to muck around with too many pills that are going to impact your brain. And maybe 20 years from now, we could see how the lab rats that do this can give us information. But I wouldn't, because there are so many other things we can do to impact the positive nature of our brain, and just learning mnemonics and learning the mental skills and believing there are physical exercises or mental exercises that we can do that can impact our cognitive fitness. I wouldn't be ingesting anything more that you would need to be the experimental victim of what those results may yield over a 10-year period of time. And so I teach people through our Maximum Memory Mastery, through the 6 key factors of brain health. We have 2 online courses in our USA Memory website that basically give people the control, the ability to take over the control over what happens in terms of their own mental fitness. And it doesn't require ingesting anything. It requires a little bit of time. So a lot of the exercises I do watching television. Rather than sitting on the couch or the easy chair, I would get up and I'll get on the floor, or I'll do a lot of my exercises during that. Some of my mental exercises I'll do as I go walking about, or maybe when I'm jogging in the morning, so I can combine with a little creativity. But the most important thing is first the desire to do so, and the ability to learn what the techniques are, and then practice those techniques and find 10 or 15 minutes. I always remember Josh Foer, who was the author of Moonwalking with Einstein, when he was asked, what did it take to be a USA Memory Championship? He said, 20 minutes, 3 times, maybe 4 times a week. I just needed to practice a little bit, and You know, here I am, the USA Memory Championship with just a little bit. Now, you don't need to be a USA Memory Champion. 15 minutes, 3 times a week, just practicing one of the skills we teach in our USA Maximum Memory online course is all you need to do to begin to feel and see positive impacts of your own mental health. Well, we're a few days away. By September 24th, YouTube, USA Memory Championship channel, you'll be able to see this year's mental athletes compete for who's got the best memory in the United States. Have a good one, and we shall see you on Saturday or Sunday if you're watching it on YouTube.